On Saturday, Boro's goal consisted of an assist from Ben Doak and a 10th goal of the season for Emmanuel Latte Lath. Yet days later, we could be at risk of losing both of them. What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel and another video here today. As I say, going to be delving deeper into more newsworthy content here on the channel, and what better way to do so than in the January transfer window. But unfortunately, at the moment for Boro, it's not incomings that we're sat talking about and getting a little bit excited about. It's potential outgoings that we're maybe getting a little bit anxious and worried about, because both of Boro's, well, two of maybe their three best attacking players, if you want to chuck Finners as in that conversation, with Ben Doak and Emmanuel Latte Lath, are both being heavily targeted and links with potential moves away this January. And today we're going to discuss where we're at with both, my thoughts on them, and where I think we'll be without them both, one or neither, come the end of the January transfer window. Now, of course, at the time of recording this, things may change. Transfers, they can move very, very quickly. They can get squashed very, very quickly. Hell, I might be recording this video and it might be completely pointless by the time I come around to editing and uploading it. But we're going to go ahead with what we know anyway, starting with Boro's loan star from Liverpool, Ben Doak. Now, it was never expected that Ben Doak would ever really become a permanent Boro player. Even if we got promoted, it always sounded like his future would be at Liverpool. And with the uncertainty around Mo Salah's future, that sounded perfectly viable, with him potentially being the next in line to take on the potential place on Liverpool's right-hand side. And it seemed like, yeah, there might be interest. There probably would be a few clubs sniffing around, but there wouldn't really be too much of a worry that he'd be recalled by Liverpool in January and he would stay at Boro till the end of the season, and then Liverpool can either loan him out again to a Premier League club next season, maybe, if they don't think he's quite ready, or they can try and bring him in to Liverpool's team itself. But the big twist that I didn't expect, a lot of local journalists have not expected, is that Liverpool are actually willing to potentially sell Ben Doak for the right price. Now, every player obviously has his price, but I honestly thought it would be well within Liverpool's interests to nail down Ben Doak, because for me, he's got all the ability to go right to the very top, and Liverpool might have one of the hottest prospects in the whole of English football at the moment with Ben Doak. But what has made Boro fans worry a little bit more is not only are Premier League clubs sniffing around this January, they may be looking to take him now, because there's been numerous clubs interested. We've seen Ipswich, we've heard they're interested. I've seen £16 million chucked around, a couple of different figures here and there. Crystal Palace seem to be the biggest club with the most concrete interest, and they have a history of signing top championship talent. Obviously go on to be big success. Adam Wharton they got from Blackburn, Eberechi Eze they got, was it from Reading or QPR? I think it was QPR. They both have very similar kits, forgive me. They have a history of bringing in championship players, selling them on. Elise, another one. And it wouldn't surprise me if they're looking to do the same thing again. And unfortunately for us, Liverpool have said that they're open to selling him if his valuation is hit around what is believed to be £30 million. Now, the last I heard, the last I saw, was that Palace were looking to up their initial bid, which I think was around 15 million to 20, and they're going to try and make up potentially the final 10 million in bonuses, etc., to get it up to 30. Still sounds like it's short from a Liverpool point of view, but the worry for me, and the worry for Boro fans, I would think, is that the Premier League clubs have the money, and money talks, and I don't think it's a case of if they have the money available. I think they absolutely do. It's a case of how many backs and forths do they need between Palace and Liverpool, or whoever it may be, before they eventually come to some sort of an agreement. And unfortunately, my gut is telling me that it is not a matter of if, it's a matter of when a fee is agreed between Liverpool and one of these Premier League clubs. And I do worry, and I do feel like Ben Doak could be moving permanently to a Premier League club this month. And it's a shame, because we have absolutely no control. We have to just sit here and accept whatever the outcome may be. And I don't even think we, in our wildest dreams or in our worst nightmares, thought that Ben Doak would get prized away in January. My biggest fear was that he might get recalled to Liverpool and they might loan him out again to a Premier League club and maybe see the second half of the season as a step up for him to maybe get a taster of Premier League football before he starts at Liverpool next season. But I am astonished they're looking to sell him. I honestly thought the best thing to do would be to get him back to Liverpool. Don't take any money for him right now because, let's be honest, a good 6 months in the Premier League next season, his price tag could double or even treble very, very quickly if he can prove he can do it in the red of Liverpool at the top level. So I think a bit of patience and Liverpool could make a hell of a lot more money on him if they wanted to, but they seem to be wanting to get rid of him now. And the only reason I can think that is the case, potentially PSR related. You know, obviously a huge incentive for clubs is bringing through, you know, players through their academy, selling them for big money. It really helps them balance the books when it comes to PSR, and that may be what Liverpool are looking at the moment. So I feel like there needs to be a huge breakdown for this to stall. And I honestly do believe, in my heart of hearts, it's a matter of time before Liverpool come to some sort of agreement. And unfortunately, we will be seeing Ben Doak leave for a Premier League club this window. And I do think Boro will be prepared. I think we'll have been prepared anyway for him to leave, probably in a recall. I don't think we would have expected this, but I do think we will have been prepared. And what I will say, and I'll say this again with Latte Lath, I do trust this recruitment team a lot more than I would have done a few years back to have fallback options in mind to bring in replacements if we were to lose these players. I've seen Ryan Kent mentioned potentially. Any Liverpool fans, let me know your thoughts on him, or Rangers fans for that matter. But it looks like it could be happening. I hope it just happens as soon as possible, just so we can get our house in order. But there is no doubt losing Ben Doak would be a huge, huge loss. A giant loss. You know, he's our most effective attacking player. Without doubt, he has absolutely transformed Boro's right-hand side. And it would be a huge weapon in our armoury lost if he was to leave. And I would be lying if I said it wouldn't concern me a little bit for Boro's playoff aspirations if he was to leave, because I don't see a player in the Championship who we could get at his level who could replace him with the characteristics, the traits he has, the strengths he has. He's a cheat code at this level. You know, Liverpool say he's a £30 million player. I don't know where Boro are going to pluck another one of them out of the sky in January for 6 months. We'll have to wait and see, but so far it looks like Ben Doak might be heading to the Premier League a bit earlier than expected, which would be a ginormous blow for Boro. And secondly, we've got Emmanuel Latte Lath. This isn't as much of a surprise. There's been noises and whispers around Lath's future for a long time, mostly down to his agent being an absolute gobshite. You know, he's been at this for months now. We've had it in the summer. We've had it, obviously, we all know what happened going down to deadline day, where Ipswich had interest at the very, very death. Boro knocked that back, rightfully so, because the timing of it was just completely wrong for us. And to be honest, I think I said this in the summer. I was fully expecting this to rear its ugly head again in January. And no surprise, his agent ensured that it actually reared its ugly head in December, because he was posting pictures on his Instagram story that he was at West Ham's training ground. We've heard scouts were at the Oxford game watching him. Leicester are apparently interested. West Ham are apparently interested. I don't know how concrete any of that is at the minute. At least unlike Doak, it feels like there's only interest around Latte Lath, so nothing has really changed from that point of view. There's just always been interest, and there's been no concrete bids that I'm aware of or that I've heard of. So I don't think we're any further closer to losing Latte Lath than we were before, but we do know his agent's working on it. We do know that at any point, any of these Premier League clubs could drop a bid out of the sky, and then Boro would have a problem. For me, I think in the summer we turned down 20 million. I think we have to have that as our benchmark in January. I think we should even probably ask for more, because clubs get more desperate in January. There's a myth around January tax in football. I fully believe that. You know, if I'm Boro, listen, we're in a fantastic, strong negotiating position. You know, he's our player. He's under contract. We hold all the cards. He knows the situation. I think Boro should maybe increase their asking price to 25. You know, it's January. We know these Premier League clubs have the cash. They're more desperate in January. Strikers come at a premium in January. If I'm Boro, I'm squeezing an extra few quid out of these Premier League clubs. And that might be the breaking point. If Boro are offered 25, we might accept it. And I'm in two minds, because if we were in the fight for top 2, I'd say do not, under any circumstance, sell. Because he could be a Premier League player in 6 months' time anyway with Boro, so we need him for the run-in. However, we've cost ourselves the potential of a top 2 finish, and the best we can hope for is playoffs. So I'm kind of understanding why he might want to move on, his agent might want to move on, because if Boro were in a position where Premier League looked likely, there's no reason why they could have just sat tight and said, hey, wait till the summer anyway. If you get up there with Boro, great. If you don't, we'll find you a new club. But I think because it looks ever more increasingly unlikely that Boro might get the Premier League, and it would have to be via the playoffs, I can see why a move for Lath would be getting pushed more from his end. And I kind of feel like because Boro aren't fighting for top 2, we could survive without him. I don't think we're as desperately in need of Lath fighting for top 6 as we would top 2. But in still saying that, I still would rather him stay here. Absolutely. I feel like in the summer the club would have said, just give it a year. And if we're still in the Championship next season, you've got every right to go and speak to whoever the hell you want. But for the next 12 months, commit yourself to Boro and stay till the summer. That's what I still think should happen. But, again, Premier League teams, money, there's always a bigger fish. And Boro can only hold out until a certain price tag is hit before we give in. And I don't begrudge the club for that either. You know, if we give in to 25 million, I know there'll be fans who won't be happy, and there'll be a part of me that won't be happy. But at the end of the day, we're a Championship club who have to run on a strict model that has worked fantastically well over the years. You look at the money we've made off of Tavernier, Spence, Akpom. We saw it, you know, many, many times. We've obviously looking at it now with Emmanuel Latte Lath. Morgan Rogers obviously left for Aston Villa in January this time last year. So if Boro were to get 25 million for Latte Lath, I think that is an amazing, amazing price. Given we bought him for 3, we've made 22 million on him in 18 months. I don't think he's worth 25, I'll be brutally honest. In fact, I don't even think he's Premier League ready. But if the offer drops in front of Boro, I think it's a brilliant offer, and I wouldn't begrudge the club for taking it at the same time. Again, it's all down to whether we have plans in place for that outcome. And I believe we do. I believe the club are more than ready for the potential for Latte Lath leaving. It's been talked about for long enough, so I feel like the club will have more than enough players ready to come in. But obviously, it doesn't matter who we bring in. There's got to be a bedding in period. There's got to be a period of getting up to speed with the system, with the style of play, with the Championship. We still, no matter who we bring in, we would lose something if we didn't have Emmanuel Latte Lath. Trying to find someone who could come in and hit the ground running is very, very difficult. And I don't feel like we could get that anyway. So Boro are going to lose out regardless. But hopefully with the money, we can reinvest it in somebody else. Along with Tommy Conway, it could still get us to playoffs and still give us a chance. So I wouldn't be surprised if Lath went either. And losing both would be a giant blow. It would suck, but this is where Boro are at. And when the Premier League clubs come with their money, we're powerless to a certain degree. So we'll see what happens. But my gut feeling tells me that Ben Doak will definitely be off. Latte Lath, I'm 60-40, thinking he might be off too. But we'll see. Things can move very quickly. Things can get squashed out very quickly. As always, I'll keep you guys updated on the channel with what may or may not happen in regards to Boro's transfer incomings and outgoings. And I am going to bring you guys a more broader video on Boro's transfers, just in general. Going to look at the squad depth, look at all the positions and see where Boro could look to strengthen in January. So that video will be coming soon this week as well. But until next time, if you've enjoyed this little news roundup, hit a like on the video, subscribe for much more Boro related content as we go through the January window, as well as reviewing and previewing every single Boro game as we always do. But until next time, leave me your thoughts in the comment section below, where you think Lath and Doak will be come February 1st. But until then, take care guys, and I'll see you all in the next one.